distance of where we're holding the meeting. Anybody has an interest in early learning and childcare, we're holding a forum next week. That's next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, January 24th, at St. James United Church in St. John's. It's 2 to 4 p.m. That's on a Saturday afternoon. So anybody's in driving distance of the church there on Elizabeth Avenue, you're welcome to come along. We're having a meeting on early learning and childcare in response to a lot of concerns that I've heard over the last while about the provincial government's 10-year childcare strategy. And some of those concerns are related to promises that have been made but haven't really materialized on the timeline that the minister had indicated when they released that child care plan.
Such as what?
Well, the Inclusion Supports Program, that's a program that supports kids with special education needs in accessing child care. That was supposed to have been reviewed and changes made subsequent to the review. We haven't heard that was supposed to happen last year. It didn't happen.
Well, let's assume that it was reviewed, but they just haven't announced any indications as to the review itself?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. I have asked the minister about it in the legislature. There was also a promise to have a child care registry, a centralized registry of child care spaces, and to my knowledge, that hasn't been done. I think the minister did indicate that she would do something soon, but we've often heard things are going to happen soon, and they don't happen soon.
Yeah, if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bus. Soon is, it's not exactly comforting. Child care registry spaces, you'd think that would be quite easy to do. You could have a first-year bureaucrat put together a database, a quick Google search as to where people are offering childcare. That seems to me to be a rather easy victory for any government to announce.
And there are other issues of concern that have been raised in recent times and not so recent times. I know before Christmas we were having a debate about the voluntary operating grants program. We've heard from a number of operators in the for-profit, and I've spoken to a number in the not-for-profit sector in child care about the impact that the rates that are proposed for that are set at for that program will have on quality, and a lot of people feel that it's going to put downward pressure on quality in child care potentially.
Sorry, Dale, what do you mean by rates?
Well, the government's proposed a program for operating a child care, and they've set a particular rate that they will provide a subsidy for.
Oh, I see.
But they have attached a number of conditions to that private operators in particular have indicated publicly and to me in meetings that I've had that will more or less result in corners potentially being cut, and people don't want to make those sorts of decisions. So it has all sorts of implications in the longer term, not just for quality, but also for potential availability of spaces and the feasibility and the viability of creating new spaces. So that's not what the program was intended to do, but those are some of the problems. If we go back a couple of years ago, government changed the wage supplement for level 2 early childhood educators, but I guess in a misguided fashion just restricted that to level 2 ECs who are operators. So there are a whole bunch of different concerns that have been raised, and of course in recent days we've been hearing about the impacts on full-day kindergarten. So we're going to have a meeting and to get people together from a variety of different backgrounds. We have a panel of people who will be making presentations. There'll be somebody from the private operator side. There'll be a representative of the association that represents early childhood educators in the province, and then someone else from the Jimmy Pratt Foundation, and that's an organization that's been doing a lot of research and advocacy in the area of early learning and child care.
They're fantastic. Dale, we quickly have to wrap this up. I'm going to go to an individual who wants to talk about workplace safety, but here's my last question for you. We're broke. We're in a recession. It's coming all across this country. We have an election happening federally and provincially in the next, well, probably 6 months. However, when we're looking at the issues and promises that the current government has made towards childcare, towards education, towards health, etc., there's a lot of challenges coming in for whoever, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, wins the next election. Everyone knows that there is most likely going to be a sea change. Even if government manages to hold on to a minority, there will still be the issue of how to spend money when there isn't any in the coffers. What do you predict will be sacrificed? Will it be education or will it be healthcare? Because it can't be both.
Well, the current fiscal position of the province is really a result, of the government's, the Tories' spending decisions, the reliance on oil revenues, and this sort of a status quo fiscal policy that doesn't bother to do much with economic diversification. So, we've ended up in this situation as a result of their spending decisions. Is really no surprise, and it's something that we've been talking about for a number of years now. The suggestion that they wouldn't move ahead with certain programs that they promised really says a lot about what their commitment really was originally.
Well, you can't move ahead if you don't have anything to pay for it. I mean, a lot of promises are made, but if you don't have the cash in the kitty to pay for the actual implementation, that's the issue. Now, yes, there has been some spending on some questionable areas with this current government. That is the case from here to eternity. The issue really is worldwide. There's an oil crisis, and frankly, that has nothing to do with whoever's at the head of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. There are multiple factors, but when we consider that, whoever will be the head of this province in the next year, something needs to be cut. Something needs to be halted. What do you think? Are we looking at education going to suffer or not?
What we really need is better management, and I think that's what Dwight Ball and our team really bring to the table. And I think, the crisis situation that we've been thrust into the moment demonstrates how people have lost faith and why people have lost faith in this government and really their ability to act on our priorities, on people's priorities. And I think that overall what we need is a sea change, is better management of people's money, so that these sorts of spending decisions that we've seen them make over time don't end up backing us up against the wall when the market fluctuates. Yeah. We know that oil goes up.
That's not really the question that I'm asking.
What's the question you're asking?
I'm looking at where are we going to we're going to have to cut somewhere. We can't spend in the next year and the next 5 years. We can't spend all the promises that have been made and delivered and will be delivered or made in the next campaign with respect. We cannot inject a lot of money into both education and healthcare. What I'm asking you is, when the sacrifice comes, where do you think it's going to fall?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to predict that, but I will tell you that we're working on our platform right now, and when we do roll it out, we'll have responsible pledges and promises and commitments in there. It will be reasonable. There'll be reasonable assumptions made, and there'll be reasonable promises made, and it will be within our ability to pay for them, and it will reflect, as I said, the need for better management to be able to deal with tough economic times and good ones as well, and to balance things out over the cycle, because that's really what we need to be able to do. You can't put all of your eggs in one basket year after year after year and expect that we're going to continue to have high times, because it doesn't work like that. And I think it really speaks to the need for better management in this province, and I really believe that's what Dwight Ball brings to the table in comparison to the crowd that we have running the province.
Thank you, Dale. I like the idea of reasonable promises. This is something that I'm going to be asking more about in the future. We got to go to the break, though. Much appreciated this morning. This is an excellent way to start the show, and your eggs in basket metaphor has made me tremendously hungry for an omelet. Have a good day.
And I hope people will have an opportunity to come out to our meeting on Childcare on the 24th. Again, it's St. James United Church on Elizabeth Avenue, January 24th, 2 to 4 p.m. Thanks for your time, Jonathan.
My pleasure, sir. Have a great morning.
Bye-bye.